Holly Wakes Early by Kimberly Long Cockroft. Art by Donald Wu. One morning in January, Holly Hedgehog's alarm clock rang. Bring! Spring already? Snuffled Grandma, snuggling deeper into her bed of dried leaves. Holly blinked. It was dark in the cozy nest. Bring! Could it be? Hurrah! Spring at last, cried Holly. Spring was the most perfect part of the whole year. Go on up, mumbled Grandma. I'll be there soon. Then she rolled over and started snoring. Holly could not wait. Flowers, she whispered as she scrambled up through soft, dry leaves. Butterflies, she sang. Green grass, fluffy clouds, spring! She was almost in the wide-open world. Holly stuck her nose up through the last layer of leaves. The air smelled clear and clean and cold? Holly poked her head up into the garden. She couldn't believe her eyes. There was no green grass. Instead, the garden was covered in a soft white blanket. There were no flowers and no butterflies. Instead, delicate lacy things drifted quietly through the air. Holly tugged the last of her spines through the hole. She shivered. This wasn't the nasty part of the year, was it? Grandma always said, there are 4 parts of the year, Holly. Spring, summer, fall, and the nasty part, when the world turns cold and ugly, and the air is as sharp as fox teeth. During the nasty part of the year, there is nothing to do but sleep. When it arrives, we hedgehogs find a warm place deep in the dead loamy leaves and curl up until spring. Holly looked around the garden. It glittered and shone. Each tree branch sparkled. This couldn't be what Grandma had been talking about. It wasn't ugly. It was beautiful, dazzling, magical, and cold. Holly shivered. Should she burrow back under the loamy leaves? Just then, she saw something as rosy as berries flash across the white garden. The red thing squeaked. Is that you, Holly? It was Milton Mouse, all wrapped up in red, scampering across the garden. Yeah, Milton shouted, clapping his paws. All my friends are still in bed, except you. Why aren't you sleeping too? And miss this, said Milton, throwing his paws wide. This is my favorite part of the year. He pulled off his red scarf and wrapped it around Holly's neck. He put his fuzzy red hat on her head. Holly felt warm and happy. Milton scuttled across the garden again and rustled around in a hole in a tree. Soon, he popped out wearing a new scarf and hat, green as leaves. Come on, he cried. Holly followed Milton down the hill. It was hard to walk in the soft white stuff, and suddenly, oh, she slipped. Holly tucked herself into a ball, but the white stuff was slippery, and she began rolling faster and faster, gathering more of it along the way. Plop. She flew over a tree root and through the air. Oh dear, gasped Holly, looking down. The creek! I wish I was still sleeping in the dead loamy leaves. Just as she was wishing hedgehogs could swim, she landed. But instead of a splash, she glided like a water bug across to the other side. What had happened to the water? Holly tried to stand up. Whoops! Milton raced across the creek toward her. Are you okay? He asked. When Holly nodded, Milton twirled, paws out. See? The water is frozen. I told you this part of the year is the best, Milton said, twirling again. He showed Holly how to skate across the ice. Holly slipped and slid. But finally, she twirled too. It was glorious. Now Holly didn't feel cold anymore. She sat down on the bank and ate 4 red berries, frosty and tasty as ice cream. Milton said, Come on, there's more. Milton found a big piece of tree bark. He pulled it up to the top of a hill. Then he sat in the front. Jump on, Holly. Whoosh! The friends flew down the hill. Holly had never moved so fast in her life. The wind blew in her spines. The air tasted cold and delicious. Zoom! They went even faster. Holly felt like a bird. At the bottom of the hill, they rolled off the bark laughing. They lay on their backs watching the lacy things fall silently through the air. What are they? Whispered Holly. Snowflakes, Milton said. One landed on Holly's face. It melted at once. What a wonderful part of the year, sighed Holly. Not nasty at all. It's the best, Milton agreed. What is it called? Winter, Milton said. It's called winter. Winter. Holly counted snowflakes, each one perfect, each one a part of the loveliest season of the year.